92, want to send a text. AlanCoxShow.com to find us, watch live there. Thank you to whoever is helping out there today on the live stream. That would be Bimble Bunduncamus is helping out today. Thank you so much. That's somebody who's not scared to come to downtown Cleveland.
No, they're not.
And we don't validate parking, by the way, for the people in the video department. We will.
But we validate you.
That's right.
Maybe.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, there you go. Bimble Bunduncamus, thank you once again for helping out. Guardians play tonight, first of 3, here at home, right around the corner from us, against the Baltimore Orioles. That's Cal Ripken Jr. and the mighty Baltimore Orioles, who are having a hell of a season. You can't always say that about that team. But they're doing all right. Alan, did you see they had more sewage overflow at Edgewater Beach? Of course I did. Second time this month, Mary has established Edgewater Beach is her favorite beach. And she doesn't mind that there's constantly sewage overflowing there after huge storms.
I only go when there's sewage.
That's
That
right.
red,
What you said.
Fly
Yes,
that
yeah.
red flag, baby.
Yeah!
I'm going in naked.
Uh-huh. Oh, God.
My hoo-ha.
I was going to say, something's going to happen to the hoo-ha once you... you can always leave us messages, by the way. Alan Cox Show After Hours line is always available to you any time of the day. It's 216-986-8903.
Hey, all. Ron from Talmadge. Regarding Mary's little quip about her brother saying it looked like there was semen in the mac and cheese, when we were kids, my youngest sister at the dinner table during dinner, out of nowhere, asks, "Hey, what's a dildo?" And without skipping a beat, my dad said, well, it's like when it's how spices get to the grocery store. You have your it's like a deer. You have your herb dough, your oregano dough, basil dough, and a dildo.
That old joke.
And she accepted that answer for a very long time. Later.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, lest people think that we're being gratuitous with this line of questioning, people were blowing up the text in the break. Matt said, I'm 42, and I was today years old when I found out that sperm and semen were different.
Come on.
This is what I'm talking about. Like, you think people are walking around with a head full of, dreams, frankly, and knowledge. Not so much. Some things just skipped right by. His brain was never fertilized by the truth.
Sperm. I mean, that is a lot to take in, though. It's scary.
What's that?
Sperm is weird. Just the thought of it. They're like, oh, so you have these thousands of little tadpoles running around inside of you.
Thousands? Tens of millions. What are you saying? Yeah, running around. You know they're not in your bloodstream, right?
Sperm count.
Well, I'm just saying millions of little tadpoles, microscopic tadpoles inside of you, and then the liquid helps push them out. And I'm like, this is not something I want to think about when I'm tossing off. I'm like, I'm going to make these little tadpoles come out. Like, that's so gross. I remember one time in school, I asked, because we were doing some type of science experiment, and we had like a pond out back of our school. So we would go into the pond and get like a little sample and see, all the little microscopic organisms and stuff. And I asked, no one else asked, but other people were thinking it. I was just like, has anyone ever done this with, sperm? And everyone's ears kind of like perked up, and my teacher was like, no, we haven't. That would be like a college course. That would be like a college
At
class.
least high school.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then everyone kind of went back to normal, but I could tell everyone else was thinking it, but no one said it.
You were responsible for putting the light bulb over everybody's heads.
No, everyone was thinking it because they were like, I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I see.
Because
you just said, this is Poundcake. He says what other people are thinking.
Because science makes everything gross and painful. Like the fact that we got like a little
Or amazing and fantastic.
No, we had like a little slide of just like it was a drip of water, and he was like, now let's see how many microscopic organisms are in that water. And when I tell you like it was a microscopic centipede in there, there was like some other things swimming around, I was like, that is not what I want to think about that is like on me when I go swimming in a pond. Or like when I go in the water, like, ugh.
Bro, that's what you're drinking.
Yeah.
You shut up, Bill.
Microscopic centipedes.
It was like a little microscopic centipede. I was like,
I understand.
That's everywhere. It was like every time you get in the water, anytime you get in any body of water, that is what's in there. I was like, even bath water? They said especially bath water. I was like,
Blah.
Well, your face is
Especially.
covered in mites all the time.
Mites.
they're eating my hairline. Stop, mites.
Well, they're hungry.
How dare they?
And they're getting full.
Yeah.
You're giving them plenty. Yeah, Jackson, Mississippi. We've got a bureau chief, I think, in Jackson, Mississippi. I think Harvey is our bureau chief down there. That is the largest city in Mississippi, and they have no drinkable water. The water system in Jackson has failed completely, and they're trying to figure out how to get people kind of back online there. The city will be left with no or very, very little drinking water indefinitely. They're telling people to boil their water. They're in boil advisory. They're trying to get people to, they're having people donate huge pallets of bottled water or whatever. But you're talking about 175,000 people who live in Jackson, Mississippi, and they have no information from the health department as to whether or not they can get the water back online. They have little or no water pressure. They have no drinkable water. And again, these aren't things that happen overnight. Didn't happen overnight with Flint, Michigan. Didn't happen overnight with all kinds of cities. Flint got the lion's share of the headlines when their water system failed. And it wasn't like the entire city of Flint had no water. It was just the poorest parts of the city because they didn't invest in the infrastructure there. But they're not alone. And this is going to be a bigger and bigger problem in a lot of cities. So, when people were like poo-pooing these huge infrastructure bills that they were trying to get passed, this is what they're talking about. Do you want to die from drinking the water? And so the city's largest water treatment plants are going to be completely down. Deion Sanders is the coach of Jackson State down there. So he's kind of trying to put whatever his considerable influence in the region is to use and kind of raising the alarm. You remember primetime Deion Sanders?
Of course.
He's in the pros for a long, long time, but he's been the head coach over there at Jackson State University. And he's along with everybody else. Imagine saying, hey, you can't drink the water for the foreseeable future. There are probably parts of Cleveland where I don't know, the ins and outs of it, but, a city the size of Cleveland, there's going to be some issues with the water. They don't have running water, which means you can't flush toilets. They don't have air conditioning, and there's no ice in Jackson, Mississippi right now. Have you seen any of the videos in Pakistan?
Mm-mm.
Oh, man. How'd you avoid those? Those are blowing up all over.
What's going on?
3/4 of the country of Pakistan is underwater because of flooding. How have you not seen what's going on in Pakistan?
Because the news doesn't really cover Pakistan.
It doesn't. The internet, the news doesn't cover Pakistan.
Not unless there's like a war or something.
How did I see it?
Twitter, probably. TikTok, maybe.
Are you on Twitter and TikTok?
I am. I didn't go on there.
Anywho, if you were to Google,
I didn't see any of this either, though.
Really?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I've done a very good job of not being plugged in.
There's big things going on in Pakistan right now, and this is kind of what people are talking about when they're talking about climate change.
Holy crap. Sorry, I'm looking at videos.
Yeah. And so,
they got boats in the streets.
Huh?
They have boats in the streets.
Yeah.
got that in Venice.
60% of the country is underwater is what they're saying. I mean, you're talking like tens of millions of people that have nowhere to go. They don't, It is a nuclear country, too. I don't know how that works into the equation, but, I'm sure they'll figure that out. But, yeah, the videos of what's going on in Pakistan. Because, people go, well, how can there be droughts and huge floods? Because when there's droughts like that, the land literally can't absorb the water. When the land gets so dry from drought, it's not absorbent anymore, and the water will just go over it.
Oh.
And so if you move to a scale like they're seeing in Pakistan.
Wow, this is insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
A waterfall in the city.
And it's too far away, obviously, for people in this country to really care about. And you can't blame people for that. I mean, it's in Pakistan. There's stuff going on all the time there. People got their own lives to lead. But, I mean, these are the kinds of things that will eventually come here.
50 million people displaced, 1,300 killed.
I mean, if that was a country on our border, people would be crapping their pants because they'd be worried about we got Mexicans coming over and people are, filling their shorts. And those people want to come over and, get jobs and stuff. If you had 50 million people displaced on the border, your first wave of climate migrants, that's what's going on in Arizona. I was reading a thing about, because I was genuinely curious why people keep moving to places that will not have water in 10 years. And they go, well, it's cheaper there than it is in other places of the country. It's still relatively cheap to live in Phoenix. My wife has a good friend whose family just left Portland, or Seattle rather,
Well, I'd say
and moved to Phoenix.
cheaper in comparison to California, yeah, but it's not
Or
necessarily.
the East Coast. I mean, these are places where housing is plentiful and it's cheaper. So people go, well, we'll take our chances and we'll move to Phoenix. But I mean, when Lake Powell and Lake Mead and all that whole Colorado River thing is drying up, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, I know it's expensive to live everywhere, but I don't know what you're thinking if that's your plan.
Not expensive to live in Cleveland.
Hey, goodbye, Earth!
As a Culligan water truck pulls in front of our studio, Poundcake, I want you to go and commandeer that vehicle. Okay?
Go,
Just
go.
Just
Get us
in
some
case.
water, just in case.
Just in case.
Use your charm and your sexuality.
What did
You don't need charm when you can use your sexuality like Poundcake can.
what was that guy from Fire Festival who was signing documents for water?
Oh,
Cody,
God.
be
I don't
like
remember
him.
his name,
Be like
but-
him, Cody.
Yeah. Science doesn't make things gross. It simply explains why it's gross.
That's true.
I think that's probably what he was trying to say. Mm-hmm.
He's not wrong about it. Things
Yeah,
are
there you
gross.
go.
Things are gross.
It's just I like things that are like pleasurable, like for whatever reason. I was just like browsing porn, like this was years ago, and it had a camera inside of a woman's vagina, and I watched the porn that way. I was like, I'm scarred. Like, I'm done. I don't ever want to watch porn again. I was
Yeah,
like,
but a camera inside an orifice in any orifice in a person's body would be gross. I mean, that's no way to turn somebody on.
But I'm just saying that it was like like it was a porno, but it wasn't. Like, it was a scientific video of a couple having intercourse. And I was just like, this is insane. This is what happens. And yeah, I never watched that video again.
Jesus.
I was so disgusted.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's a deep dive. No, I was reading about how another, they're not the first, another major insurance company, home insurance company, is leaving Florida. They're getting out of Florida and telling people, you got to find another home insurance company because we're not going to insure people's homes anymore.
Because of flooding?
Yes. They're like, people are going, how are we going to live here? We can't get homeowners insurance or whatever. These companies just go, we're out. Because it's going to cost, you know how insurance works. It's gambling, right? It's, I'll bet you $500 a month until the day you die that you don't die.
Don't say that, because then Mary's going to have to cancel her insurance.
It's cute that you think I have insurance.
Well, I mean, you have like car insurance.
Yeah, I have
And-
car insurance. I don't have
Wink,
health
wink.
insurance.
Well, still.
I keep calling Brian my husband.
Now
and
that's
he's
a
like-
gamble.
That is, yeah.
That's why I want to marry a military man so bad. I need like a Marine so I can just.
And it always works out great. That's what my niece did, and boy, it worked out great.
Well, I still get that alimony.
What alimony are you talking about?
He's not.
This
he doesn't
guy.
even know what that is.
What is he? That's why I want you to get,
Marry
I want you to be
somebody
happy. I
divorced.
want you to get married and then subsequently divorced. That's right.
So I can know the struggle. So I could just, all two.
Not
of
know
you
the
guys-
struggle. For some people, it's not a struggle. I have two friends who recently divorced, and it was just a dissolution. They did it over Zoom because they're grown adults. They have no kids, been together a long time. It was basically like,
We're good.
yeah, I take mine, you take yours. Hey, we'll see you
Like-
around.
I don't love
Court-ordered
you.
breakup, yeah.
Yeah.
See you around the town.
I don't love you. I don't love you either. High five. Sign the papers.
High five.
I just want the camaraderie of me walking in the studio. I have my cigar, and I'm like, you know what, guys, you're right. Forget the broad. Like,
When-
You know you can't smoke a cigar in here, right, Poundcake? There's a lot of equipment, and the smoke would really
my vape.
jam that up. But that's the kind of camaraderie he wants, is to sit amongst jaded, divorced people.
Is
That's
that
what he
what you
wants.
want, Alan? A once divorced
A broken man.
when we did our disillusionment, I paid for it. It was like $100, and like I was like, "Hey, do you want a receipt?" And she's like, "No, it's all right. If I need it, just let me know. I'll send it." I was like, "Okay, all right. Well, great marriage.
Good try.
Yeah, we did our best, and like this is in front of people. I'll see you next time. You know,
The kids have
the kids.
something.
Yeah, and like people were laughing at the way we were interacting as
What
we're
else are
leaving.
you gonna say?
Yeah, like
Is that what you want to do?
We did our best.
Think about it, Alan. Once divorced and a broken man.
A broken man. I love that. Once
man.
divorced. Usually you nail somebody, you go, look at this guy, thrice divorced.
I like the way he says your name. It's my favorite. Alan.
Alan. Yeah, that's right. I
it's
like
really
it too.
sticking it to you by just saying your
It
name.
makes me
Yes.
laugh every single time.
It's great.
What do you think about
That
the
was
people-
Political Joe. He didn't call much anymore. Maybe he's on the wagon. But I mean, he's, sure. Anytime you want
Are you a pansy, Alan?
to address me by my name, we're pals. Doesn't matter if you're criticizing me or not.
Are you a pansy, Alan?
Whenever I was drunk around my dad and he would aggravate me or tell me to stop drinking or whatever it was, I would always take a tone just like that way that guy says Alan, and I'd say, "Oh, what's your problem, Dad?" Every single time.
Yeah.
There's a video of me hammered at the casino buffet trying to eat ham. Like there's a piece
Yeah.
of ham on my plate and I'm trying so hard, and my sister's recording me and I'm like missing my mouth because my eyes are closed, and my dad's like, "Hey, drunk ass, put the ham down." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. You don't like I eat ham?"
Give up the ham.
Right.
Will Forte. Oh, look, Dustin's calling from Jackson, Mississippi.
I took a big old swaller out of it, and I was like, uh-oh.
Thank you, Dustin.
Uh,
Boots on the ground there in Jackson, Mississippi. Now, here in Ohio, by the way, the thing that jumped out at me was they say that we should brace ourselves for an unreasonably cold and snowy winter.
I saw that.
So what constitutes I thought unreasonably was a great adjective for a weather story. They go, all right, listen, this is just getting unreasonable.
Come on.
Yeah.
2 feet of snow. This is just unreasonable.
The rationale of the weather is really, I love unreasonable. Because early on, it's summertime and they're looking ahead. They're just going by the almanac. They don't know anything. So they're like, well, the way farmers used to do things, it's going to be really cold and then it rains all winter, right? But unreasonably cold.
but if you like winter sports, sledding, skiing, things like that, it could be fun, reasonably cold.
Yeah.
Yes, it could. Yes. And I do
That's
like,
just
listen.
that's an optimistic way to look at
Yeah,
it,
that's right. That's the shovel half full.
Yeah. If you want to go ice skating, boom, there you go. You got a
Done.
fun, reasonably cold
Fun,
winter.
reasonable cold. Who is that guy?
That's Ron.
Ron.
See, Ron
Mhm.
from Talmadge?
No, that's Ron from Willoughby.
He
Oh.
won the Dream House a few years ago. The Willoughby Dream House that you enter
Really?
$50 and
How do
it's
you
like
know
a
that
$3
guy?
million. He's a big fan of both our show and comedy. So he's come to comedy shows
Oh,
for years
okay.
and years and years.
Oh, he won the Willoughby Dream House?
Yes,
Does he
it's
live
like
in it?
Yeah. It's like 9 bedrooms. It's like this huge, crazy.
Yeah, it's like Extreme Home
unreasonable.
Makeover. It's
Yeah.
like the rap on those is always people would win them, but then they couldn't afford them. Is he a man of means?
He
does
got
all
a pretty
right.
nice Kia.
Yeah, okay.
I don't really know what
a
he
pretty
does.
nice
But-
Kia.
I mean, check it out. It's like
He's
a
got a
little
pretty nice
sporty-
Kia.
Little sporty Kia.
Yeah.
Not a bad Kia.
GT.
That's not the one that you can steal with a USB.
No, not that one.
The Willoughby Dream Home. This is something that they do in the
They do this.
YMCA Dream House. Is that what it is?
Yeah, they do it in different places where it's like $50 an entry and all the money goes to like St. Jude or some kind of a
Is
charity.
this a local thing or this is like the HGTV thing that
No,
they do every year?
The only one I know of is local. They might do it everywhere, but
The Lake County YMCA?
maybe.
Huh.
But they've done them before all over like the greater Cleveland area where it's $50 an entry. You can enter as many times as you want. And then they pick like
Wow.
the top 5 entries. And then from there, there's 5 different keys.
These are random.
completely
Yeah.
random. So it's like you pick the top 5 people, each get a key. You choose the key. And then if your key unlocks the house, you win the house.
Right.
And he won. I think it was probably, 26?
Oh, yeah, there's his name.
Yeah.
He'll DM me sometimes, I'm sure all of us, on
Yeah.
social media.
I think
Oh, I didn't know
2019.
that was
Was it that recent?
Yeah, 'cause it was
2017.
2017. Okay.
Yeah. The 24th Lake County YMCA Dream House. Wow, well done.
Yeah, so all you have to do is pay the taxes on it every year. But yeah, you just enter for $50 or however many entries, and then you might win a house.
As
That'd be sweet.
this article in 2017, it says it is not yet decided if he will take the dream house and its furnishings or choose the $250,000 cash prize.
It's worth way more than $250,000.
Right.
But I guess if you can't afford to,
Well, that's
pay
the
on it
thing.
every year.
And that was always the rap on like Extreme Home Makeover. In my first year in Cleveland, we took part in that. Ty Pennington, and we were over there. We were with Exhibit. This was before either you guys were on the show.
You pimp your car?
It was no, we
They
were
pimped the house.
Yeah, we were part of the Extreme Home Makeover that they did in Maple Heights, which was much closer to us, and we were in Oak Tree.
Wait, not Exhibit the rapper.
Ron is
Exhibit
on
the
the line,
rapper.
by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
But he was
And,
part of Extreme Home Makeover at that point.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we were on the bus with Ty and Exhibit, and we were going to do this big thing and blah, blah, blah. And the family who won, because it was like, wasn't in the greatest neighborhood, I guess. And then they have this massive house that takes up like 2 city blocks. And that was the case with a lot of people, not ironically, but unfortunately, the people who like kind of most needed that situation were the least able to afford it.
Yeah.
Utility bills and things like that. And so a lot of people were like blaming the show. And I'm like, well, it's not really the show's
They're just
fault.
trying to help.
I think. I mean, Ron, hello. I didn't realize that was you out there. I don't know. Have we met? I don't know that we've met.
I don't think we've met. I might have run across you at one of the shows, but
I do
yeah, I was
recognize
just
the
gonna-
name once I Googled the Dream House. You still living in that house?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been there since 2017 is when I won it. And ironically, before that, I was living on East 4th Street over Flannery's.
Wow. How
So,
many entries did you put into this thing?
well, I went to Willoughby for my son's birthday, and I said, well, let me go check out the Dream House. I bought 3 tickets for a total of $39.
Oh, they were that cheap?
Yeah, Mary said they were $50 a
Yeah.
pop.
That's for the St. Jude. The Lake County is $15, and that's lets you tour the house.
So you invested
So I think they sold about
$39 and
8
won the house.
That's incredible.
Yeah. At the time it was valued at $500,000, but the problem is you have to kick the federal government $125,000, a quarter of that, just to get the lease. So I had to go out and get a loan for a free house.
Right. Well, why
Well,
not?
that's still not a bad loan to pay back when you get that kind of.
not at all. I mean, then when I figured in my income taxes, it ended up being about $220, but still, for a house that's $500, that's not bad.
Right. So,
So,
that was
yeah,
the better move than picking the cash.
The cash would have been $250, and then of course they take 40% of that.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd probably just blow that on paying off cars and stuff. But we have a big Italian family, and the first 3 Christmases we had about 50 people over the house.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's nice. All right.
So yeah. So I've been there. My son's living with me now, but it's way too big for me. It's 4 bedrooms, 3,500 square feet. But for now, it's okay.
Right.
Ron, sell it to me, and I'll give you $2,000. I'll do it right now. I'll go to the bank. I'll take
Ron,
out $2 grand.
take the offer. Take the offer, Ron. Take the offer.
Deal or no deal. Deal or no deal.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Ron.
All right.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Yeah, you
Good
too.
to-
Thanks, pal. There's Ron, who, what's his last name? Fatica? Is that what it is?
Fatica, Fatica, one of
Fatica?
those
I guess I
two.
should have asked him.
I think it's Fatica.
Sorry, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out there in Willoughby, and he won that dream. And I didn't recognize him. He came up and waved to me
He
and
said,
then
"Hi,"
Bill through
yeah.
the window. Right. Okay, I'm going to take a break here. If you're on hold, I'll get you on the way back. If you want to text for anything, 35192. You can watch at AlanCoxShow.com